Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Kenyan police have fired tear gas to disperse crowds of protesters who have started gathering in the capital Nairobi. There have been heavy deployment of security forces, including the military, and roads are blocked around key buildings in the capital ahead of the protests. This comes 2 days after 22 people reportedly lost their lives in protests against tax hikes, which saw part of Parliament set alight.
When I assumed office,
The next day, President William Ruto bowed to pressure and said he would withdraw the finance bill containing the unpopular tax proposals. The demonstrators had vowed to gather again in the city centre to mourn those killed. Bolivian police have arrested the leader of an apparent attempted coup hours after the presidential palace in La Paz was stormed by soldiers. Hundreds of troops and armoured vehicles had taken up position on Murillo Square, where key government buildings are located. One armoured vehicle smashed down the main gate of the presidential palace, allowing soldiers to enter. They all later withdrew. The rebel military leader in charge had said he wanted to restructure democracy and that while he respected President Luis Echo for now, there would be a change of government. He was later arrested seconds after telling reporters the military had intervened at the president's request. Paris Hilton has called for change to youth treatment facilities and described her own traumatic experience of alleged abuse before a US congressional committee.
I know from personal experience the harm that is caused by being placed in youth residential treatment facilities.
The American socialite and businesswoman said she was force-fed medications and sexually abused by staff after being sent to a private youth facility in Utah as a teenager. Her testimony shines a light on the so-called troubled teen industry. The 43-year-old accused the industry, which is worth billions of dollars, of being more interested in making money than protecting and caring for vulnerable children it is responsible for. At least one person has been killed and 20 others injured after a cable car crashed in Colombia. Officials said the cable car in Medellin, which was part of the city's public transport system, failed and plunged into a pavement next to a station platform. There were 10 people in the car when it fell, according to the city's mayor, but it is not yet known if the person who died was on board or on the ground. The hospitals say a 55-year-old man died of multiple injuries. A $5 million reward is being offered in the hunt for a fugitive known as Crypto Queen.
applause please.
Ruja Ignatova, who has German citizenship, has been on the FBI's top 10 most wanted list since 2022 for fraud and money laundering. She is accused of defrauding investors out of $4 billion by selling a fake cryptocurrency called OneCoin. The US agency has called OneCoin one of the largest global fraud schemes in history. The US actor Bill Cobbs, who appeared in Night at the Museum and The Bodyguard, has died aged 90.
You know, my hearing's not what it was.
His agent confirmed the actor died on Tuesday evening in California, surrounded by his family. Cobbs played Whitney Houston's manager, Bill Devaney, in the 1992 film The Bodyguard, which also starred Kevin Costner. The actor's other film credits include Air Bud, Sunshine State, and Get Low. He also appeared in episodes of The West Wing, The Sopranos, LA Law, One Tree Hill, NYPD Blue, 6 Feet Under, CSI, and Star Trek. Cobbs notched up around 200 film and television credits and was regularly cast in small but pivotal roles. And the King and Queen have kissed the Emperor and Empress of Japan goodbye as their official 3-day state visit drew to a close. Charles and Camilla bid farewell to their guests on the steps of Buckingham Palace after the foreign head of state and his wife had spent the past few days touring the capital. The King hosted a state banquet for his guests and in a speech praised the close bond between the UK and Japan.
Perhaps you would allow me to note one particular individual who turns 50 this year. Raised in a London suburb with her twin sister, a self-made entrepreneur worth billions of dollars, and a UNICEF children's ambassador on top of all that. So I can only wish a very happy birthday to Hello Kitty.
And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.